Okay, so picture this. €1 million painting just vanishes from a locked art gallery. This happens moments before a huge exhibition opens. Now get this. There are only 4 people inside, and every single one of them has a perfect alibi. Today, we're going to crack this case right alongside a master inspector and see how one tiny overlooked detail can solve a totally impossible crime. So here's the setup. This super famous artist, Gary Bloom, is about to unveil his big new exhibition. But right before the doors swing open, his most valuable painting is gone. Poof, just disappears right off the wall, leaving nothing but an empty frame behind.
And look, we're not talking about just any old painting here. This thing is a masterpiece, valued at over €1 million. So yeah, this is a very, very big deal.
This was a seriously gutsy robbery. The gallery owner is, totally panicking. He knows he needs the absolute best, so he picks up the phone and calls an old friend to investigate. And that's when they call in the big guns, Inspector Thomas Bishop. He's this brilliant detective, and he's the one who has to figure out how €1 million painting just walked out of a secure gallery. Inspector Bishop gets to the scene, and his sergeant, Griffin, gives him the rundown. And here's the most important fact. The building was completely locked down. When the painting went missing, there were only 4 people inside. That means our thief has to be one of them.
So who are these 4 people? The list is short, which is good, but the bad news is everyone's got an alibi. So let's meet our lineup of suspects.
First up, we've got Harry Knight, the security guard. His alibi couldn't be simpler. He says he was glued to that front door the entire time and swears nobody came in and nobody went out. Oh, and here's a fun little detail. It's his very first day on the job. Next, there's the artist himself, Gary Bloom. Now, you think he'd be the one most worried about his work, but his alibi is that he was in the main hall having a super loud argument with his sister about a different painting. Kind of convenient, don't you think? Then we have the gallery owner, Alan Jones. He claims he was totally tied up in his office, on the phone with Bloom's agent, just hammering out the prices for the exhibition. He was busy making deals, not stealing art. Or, so he says. And finally, our last suspect is Mrs. Appleby, the cleaner. Her story is the simplest one of all. She just says she was doing her job, hoovering in the room right next door, and didn't see or hear a thing. So, there you have it. The guard, the artist, the owner, and the cleaner. 4 suspects, 4 pretty solid-sounding alibis. So who's the thief? Well, get this. Inspector Bishop just scans the room, and he figures it out almost instantly. The whole case just cracks wide open because of one tiny little detail, something that everyone else just walked right past. And this, right here, is where you see why Inspector Bishop is a genius. He just looks around the room, taking it all in, and he points out something that seems like it has absolutely nothing to do with a €1 million art heist. He says, the floor, it's filthy. And right there, that's the contradiction at the heart of the whole mystery. Okay, think about it. Mrs. Appleby claimed she was cleaning with a brand new Hoover. But if that were true, why on earth was the floor still so dirty? Her story just doesn't match what he can see with his own 2 eyes. And that one little inconsistency, that's all the inspector needs. He knows exactly who did it. The mystery is solved. Without a second's hesitation, Inspector Bishop walks right past the artist and the owner, straight over to a very nervous-looking Mrs. Appleby. And he just says, "Ma'am, can I take a look at your Hoover?" And bingo. He opens up the Hoover, and pulled right out of the tube is the missing painting, all rolled up tight. It was the perfect hiding spot, and it was the exact reason the machine wasn't actually cleaning the floor at all. It really all came down to simple step-by-step logic. Bishop saw the dirty floor. He figured, hey, a new Hoover should have cleaned that up. So he concluded something must be wrong with the Hoover. And boom, he solved the crime. Just brilliant. I mean, it was a pretty clever hiding place, you have to admit. But in the end, it was absolutely no match for a detective who gets that the biggest secrets are often revealed by the smallest details that everyone else misses. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? If a dirty floor can solve a €1 million robbery, what other tiny clues are hiding in plain sight all around us, just waiting for someone to pay attention?